Hi, and welcome to the Corporate Warriors podcast. My name is Fela, and today we're going to talk about career setbacks. So, I'm happy that you all joined me again for this episode. Career setbacks are a big topic for all the people, such as ourselves, that want to do a great career and want to excel in their life. However, the real truth is setbacks are part of the journey, so we'd better come up with a good way to handle setbacks and how to come back and bounce back from them stronger. Career setbacks can have the form of many different events that occur to you. So for instance, it might be that some of your colleagues get promoted instead of you, or that you get into a kind of a power fight with somebody else who sees you as a threat because of your great work. All of those things have in common that you might get discouraged from it. You get home and be like, oh, this dude is an ass. He did this and that. That's because that and that happened. It's not my fault. So this is the very first thing, right? I guess many other people tell you to analyze the story and all of that. And I don't say that you should not do it at all. It is important to analyze, but not really the situation itself, but the people. It's very, very important that you get a really good understanding of who those people are that you're working with, that make decisions at your company, and that are there in the upper level of the management. It can be your direct manager and the manager's boss as well. And it's not just the manager, him or herself, that takes the decision on promotions or demotions, right? So there's always like a group of people that need to get together and discuss about these topics. So take a good look at them and understand them. It's not about over-analyzing the situation in and of itself, but it's really about understanding the people and their motivations that they have. So this is the one thing. Yes, this part we do analyze, and it's important that you get a really good understanding of who those people are that are in charge of promoting and demoting and what their objectives are. Always be mindful. It's not about what people say their objectives are, but rather watch their actions. What do they really show when you take a good look at what they're actually doing? Normally, if you get a hang of it, you can see patterns really quickly in people's behavior, how they talk, but mainly how they act. And put that together. Is it coherent? Do they walk their talk? Do they do what they say they would do? Very, very often in dysfunctional relationships, it can be at work or anywhere else, people do not walk the talk. They tell you one thing, they might even gaslight you into thinking that something is your fault, which it wasn't. And they will not act the same way. They expect from you to take on full responsibility for something that might not even be your fault, but they do not take on the responsibility themselves. So take a good look at them. Do they walk their talk? Are they coherent? Do they give an overall sane image, meaning the way they behave, the way they move, the way they talk? Does it feel wholesome? Because once people play these malicious roles, you can detect that they are actually playing. And that is already a sign of a really bad work environment. There must be something off. Either they feel they are endangered themselves and they need to act in a certain way that, saves them or makes them look better in front of person X, Y, and Z. Or they just have troubles in their personal lives. But both of them are not good signs. So the sooner you become aware of them, the better, because you can build up your own strategy. One strategy might literally be to just walk away from a job that is not serving you, from people that are toxic. There's nothing wrong with walking away from a toxic relationship. In fact, all is right with it. However, in other situations, it might be that you want to dig deeper and you still have this, strength and force within yourself to want to change the environment. Perhaps you can see in the management and the upper level that there are some really good people in there that are fighting for the survival of the good in the company, and you want to support them. This is a tremendously amazing goal, and I support you all the way there. This is literally what I stand up for every single day. What is my mission and my purpose in my life? I want to make corporations better holistically better. And I think that's only possible if the right people are in the power positions. So I am here to have your back. I am here to give you the tips and give you the serenity and the peace of mind in order to get there and in order to change the corporations from the inside out. So getting back to your setback at work. Depending on how the situation is and what you've analyzed in terms of taking a look at the people, go back to your master plan. What is it that you want to do, right? Do you want to stay? Do you still see hope for that organization? Or would you rather go somewhere else where you see more possibilities for yourself, but also for the organization as a whole? Obviously, as said before, use all the tools that you already have at hand, like the Porter's 5 Forces, the SWOT model, all of those things. Go use it. This is highly effective. Go ahead and use it in order to make good decisions about your career that you are working so hard for. Put where you're currently at and the setback that you've had in relation to your goal. And then be true to yourself. Is it really that bad? Or is your ego and your mind telling you that this is not the way it should be, that you should have gotten promoted, and that you're turning in circles around a situation that is really not that bad? Your career is a long-term plan. I'm not here for the short-term gains. Obviously, yes, we do take them when they come. They're motivating us and I love it, but we are playing a long-term game here. So take a good look at what has happened. Is it really that bad? Is it really that bad, or is your mind building up this monstrous story of who are the bad people, who are the good people? And is it not just your ego that is just so blatantly hurt that is making up all of this shit for you to stay trapped? Because you will never arise and become a corporate warrior if you stay trapped in your ego and in this carousel of emotions that it is creating. Take a good, hard look at yourself. I've just read in a book a really nice thing. It was about 2 ducks, how ducks fight. Perhaps you've heard of it. It's a book from Eckhart Tolle, and he mentioned it at some point. It's an example of how humans fight versus how ducks fight. So ducks are fighting, they're coming together, let's say, they have some kind of situation, whatever it is, and they start to get in a fight. They never fight long, and once the fight is done, they go off and swim into opposite directions. They will shake themselves, basically shaking off all the negative emotions, and then they just go peacefully along their own ways. What can we learn from them? There is no reason why we should hold on to negative emotions in the long term. And this is a really fundamental part of career setbacks. Think about it, analyze it. That's good. Then shake it off and go ahead with your career. You are on such a great journey to actually change the world. Let not one minor setback hold you back for weeks. And it is all about the mind. Because those ducks, they are not swimming away thinking, oh, he shouldn't have done that. It was my right to be here. Going on for weeks and weeks, holding him or herself back from the joy of life, from the joy of actually moving forward and going ahead, right? So why are we doing that? The mind, which is so powerful, that definitely differentiates us from the animal kingdom, can become our worst enemy if we're not really careful and conscious in the way we use it. So, yes, we analyze the people, we understand the people on a deeper level in order to understand if we want to work with them, but we do not use our mind to go back in circles about a bad situation. Stuff happened to me, obviously, in my career. A lot of things have happened, which is why I actually want to do that podcast and share all of these insights. And yes, it is tremendously hard if somebody really gaslighted you or put you on the spot for something that was not your fault. But do not go into the circle. So what did I do? I still felt it like months afterwards that all of a sudden, literally all of a sudden, I'm just, washing my face in the evening. All of a sudden, the situation is back in my head. I'm trying to explain that person something. But the good thing is I realized it and I'm like, what the failure. What are you doing right now? And then I'm like already aware of the situation. I'm already aware of what's going on in my mind, and I can actively shift it. It's easier, obviously, a few months away. So I'm just detecting myself. I'm like, no, that's not what we're doing here. And then I actively focus on something positive or something else. However, when I was closer to the situation still, I needed to be a bit tougher. So it was okay. I, let's say, granted myself to talk to 1 or 2 people about the situation because I needed to get it out of my system. But then that's it. Then it's out there. Then do the sports, sweat it off, or shake it off, go dancing, do something wild. Just get to live again. Live in the fullest of your body with a full heart and do something, and actually consider that this is just a minor setback in the whole big view on your life. This means nothing. But if you don't manage your mind correctly, it can mean everything, because if you go constantly back to this freaking setback, you hold yourself back. The other person is not losing, you are losing if you constantly go back to this freaking situation. So what I did, I had some different kinds of things to do. The one thing, sports, a great way to release stress and anxiety. The other thing that I like to do is to go into meditation. Make sure that I have some kind of song, some kind of default that I can go back to. So for example, what I was doing was to listen to Let It Go, a big song, right, from the Disney movie. So just sing it at full heart and release all of these emotions, release all of the stress. And then afterwards, once the song is over, you freaking turn it off and get on with your life. So this is what you want to do next time you have a minor career setback. And then we can continue with the next podcast episode. Looking forward to seeing you there.